I will tell you, this is my body, and nobody, you got people telling me I gotta wear a mask or don't wear a mask or do this. Everybody wants to tell me what to do, but you won't let me make my decision about my body. You are not the person to make that decision. My doctor and myself.
Oh, we'll go move to California then, I guess. Joining me now to opine on what you just saw on the complete left-wing meltdown, Michael Knowles, the man who hosts the Michael Knowles Show, author of Speechless, Controlling Words, Controlling Minds. Also with us is online opinion editor at the Washington Times and author of her new book, Lockdown, The Socialist Plan to Take Away Your Freedom, Cheryl Chumley. Great to see you both. Michael, we've seen the Democrats, including Biden, Pelosi, AOC, trying to utilize this leaked draft of the Supreme Court opinion on Roe versus Wade, trying to use it to fundraise and trying to, divert everybody's attention away from all the massive screw-ups in the country, inflation and all that. Number one, do you think it's going to work? Number two, it is kind of silly to suggest that just because the Roe versus Wade decision goes away, that all of a sudden abortions won't be happening in the United States.
I don't think that this is going to work. I think the Democrats are really overplaying their hand, and I think they believe that infanticide plays a lot better in Peoria than it actually does. People are commenting that this is so shocking that the Supreme Court would leak this kind of an opinion, that the pro-abortion advocates would upset the norms of the court this way. I don't find it shocking at all. These people kill babies. They are willing to do pretty much whatever it takes to get their political agenda through. And they know that the people are not on their side on this issue. America has moved much more pro-life in the last 50 years. And I think they're terrified that if they put this up for a vote, it's not going to work. Joe Biden says he wants to codify Roe versus Wade into law. That's not going to happen. He doesn't have the votes to do it, so he's going to have to try to get rid of the filibuster. Joe Manchin just came out and said he's not going to get rid of the filibuster for this either. In fact, the whole reason that we're debating Roe versus Wade is because the Supreme Court took this issue out of the hands of the American people 50 years ago. This has never been nearly as popular as the Democrats and the pro-abortion people, though those two are really synonymous these days, have ever thought that they are, because what it's coming down to is the ugliest thing you can even imagine doing, and that's killing an innocent little baby.
Yeah, Cheryl, how do you see this playing out in the midterms? Do you think that the Democrats are going to be able to parlay this into campaign cash and maybe staunch the bleeding of the anticipated red wave?
No, I don't. But I do believe that that is what they're going to play. This is the Democrats' reaction to very low polls, not just on the part of Joe Biden, but Joe Biden is dragging down the entire Democrat Party. And so the Democrat Party running for elections this year and in 2024, they don't have anything to campaign on. They don't have any issues, and they certainly can't do what they did last time, as claim to be the party of not Trump, because that's not a factor this time around. So they have to get something that will get their base to the polls, because even independents are running from Democrats. Hispanics are running from Democrats. Their normal voting blocks aren't excited about the coming elections. They have sort of shrugged their shoulders and given up already. So if anything can rally the far leftists and drum up fundraising and drum up some sort of signs of life in the Democrat Party, they're banking on abortion, but I think they are overplaying the hand. Most Americans aren't in line with the radical view of Democrats' abortions.
I'm right there with you. And Michael, you know that the same people that want to slaughter babies, they also show up at black tie dinners and make fun of Americans' misery. And they also want to institute unconstitutional surveillance of speech by the federal government. Just how out of whack is this Democrat Party?
Well, they're underwater on every single issue. You can just look at Joe Biden's poll numbers. They were making fun of him for this at the White House Correspondents Association dinner, and he was laughing. Well, the joke's going to be on him if the election is fair in November, because he's sunk on the economy, he's sunk on immigration, he's sunk on foreign affairs, he's even sunk on COVID and public health, which was the one area that he was doing relatively well on. His policies have not worked. His vision for America is an ugly one, and people are rejecting protecting that. So the Democrats are grasping at straws here, and I think they're going to try to subvert the will of the American people, and they're going to try to subvert the rule of law. They're already doing this. They leaked this potential opinion from the Supreme Court to basically put targets on the backs of the conservative judges so we can have some mostly peaceful Molotov cocktails like we saw a couple of years ago. It's a nasty, ugly thing, but this is the time for conservatives to stand firm.
Yeah. Cheryl, I only got about a minute left, but I wanted you to comment on lockdown. I was honored to write the foreword for this book, and we're going to have many more conversations about this. But this is all surrounding the lockdowns, surrounding the China virus, which we're finding out non-scientifically based.
Exactly. And I'm very honored that you did write the foreword to this book. And look, lockdown is a look back on the 2 years where the government overreached and stole our individual liberties. But more importantly than that, it looks forward to show where the Democrat Party, where the collectivists and socialists and globalists are hoping to take America. And Americans need to be aware and wake up that the Democrat Party of even Bill Clinton days is no longer. This party is radicalized. Just look at what's going on outside the Supreme Court right now to see how radical they've become.
Indeed. Thank you very much. We're going to get you on to talk more about this book in the coming days. Cheryl Chumley, Michael Knowles. Appreciate the time, guys.